Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to have some Division 14 online ranked gameplay, and it is going to be in the welterweight division using none other than the Human Backpack, the absolute legend, one of the most prolific jiu-jitsu practitioners, I was trying to think of the word there, practitioners that's ever graced the UFC octagon, and that is none other than Demian Maia. And shout out to Tezzy, the subscriber there that was on the bottom left hand side of the screen, for recommended him. And if you do have any content suggestions, please let me know in the comments below, and I will get around to recording them. And one thing I really wanted to showcase here was obviously, Demian Maia's got elite grappling, but the harsh reality of it is that you are going to be at a massive disadvantage when you are using Maia on the feet, especially against someone here who we're coming up against a very, very cheesy Shavkat. And Shavkat is, probably my favourite fighter right now in UFC, both in real life and on the game. And a lot of people are starting to utilise him the most cheesiest of manners online. He's very hard to deal with because he's got elite striking and elite grappling, so he causes a lot of issues. And you can see that my opponent here is looking to knee, looking to use elbows and utilize the clinch knees, and then off that look to get takedowns. But I really wanted to showcase to you guys how you would actually, how your actual fight would look like in the upper divisions using Maia, because it's not going to be easy submissions every time. It'd be very easy for me to just put out a video submitting people in the first round, but I don't feel like you're going to gain anything from watching that style of gameplay. Yeah, it will be entertaining, but I feel like this is a more accurate and realistic approach to what your online ranked games will look like when you're using Demian Maia. And the number one thing I can tell you is definitely be patient. Obviously, you don't want to stay on the feet for too long because you're just at such a huge disadvantage. However, you definitely don't want to rush and force the takedown, start gassing, and that's just going to cause you a whole load of issues. So be patient and be selective with your shots. Look to slip the punches and then delve into them, turn your takedowns and really utilize the fence. And of course, if you can get him onto that octagon fence and get on his back and backpack him, that's the position Demian Maia is really known for. So that's definitely something you can look to utilize. But you can see that this Shavkat here is doing the right thing, pressuring me a lot, being a bit cheesy. Obviously used the helicopter kick to get the stun, and you can see he's back at it again there, using knees, using elbows, really looking to utilize the clinch. And in this first round here, I'm really just trying to get a feeling out process. I did try taking him down earlier on in the round, which he denied, and that was great work from Shavkat there. So I've got to be a bit more selective with how I look to get these takedowns. Again, go for a massive overhand there for some reason, which I end up, of course, missing, and then he gets the stun off. Goes for the flying knee, and of course we do a good job there of avoiding it. So not an ideal first round, to say the least. Being stunned and get him down with 30 seconds to go, which of course isn't going to do much. We've definitely lost that round. But the second and third round, I've really got to step it up because I'm down. Now it's about making the necessary reads and adjustments. I know what he's going to look to do. He's going to look to knee, he's going to look to elbow, he's going to look to use that helicopter kick, and when I'm hurt, throwing that flying knee here and there. So I've made those reads, and now coming into the second round, it's about adapting it and using Demian Maia to his fullest, get the fight onto the ground, deny transitions, obviously hinder him and soften him up with the knees, the elbows, but specifically look to be getting a finish via choke or some sort of jiu-jitsu submission is the main thing you're going to be looking for. However, I really do like to chip away at the body, chip away at the head, and just absolutely drain my opponent, because it's just going to make the submissions easier. And a lot of the times when I do use Maia, I find that my fights go the distance, especially with higher ranked opponents, because obviously it's going to be harder to submit them. And I find that I just go the distance and I'm winning via control. But again, I just want to emphasize, control is not enough. You've got to be implementing some sort of damage in there. And you can see that when it's into the grappling realm here, it's a completely different ball game. He reversed me, I reversed him, tit for tat. And with Demian Maia, I do not mind being on my back at all. It's similar to using a Charles Oliveira, a Gilbert Burns, anyone that's a phenomenal jiu-jitsu practitioner, and Demian Maia is one of the best in the business. So I have no problem being on my back and letting Shavkat work. Again, if I can reverse the position and get on top, that is exactly what I'll look to do, and get into side control and potentially look to get in the crucifix or side saddle, depending on what he has. And look to work away because I just feel like that is the most dominant position. And again, you see, I'm not biting on the fakes here. End up getting the deny, stay patient, build up the GA, get into side control here. And again, about being patient because Shavkat is very good off his back, so you can't look to be overzealous, drain too much stamina, and either Shavkat gets up onto the feet and I'm at a huge disadvantage, or two, Shavkat catches me in a slick submission or reversal, and then, I'm going to be at a disadvantage. It's all about being patient with Maia. Wait for the opportunities to present themselves. Of course, if you see something's there, like I saw it was on, the crucifix was on there, I tried to go for it, didn't get it, but again, just be patient. Doing a very, very good job of holding this position. This is going to be very frustrating for the Shavkat player, especially after a round one where he got a knockdown, maybe a couple stuns, was feeling like the fight's going his way, and just goes to show you that round two made the necessary adjustments, started implementing my game plan, get another big takedown here with a minute left to go. And I think here, yep, he manages to get into full guard, which is good. I was waiting for the side control transition to myself there. Didn't end up getting it, but again, staying on top. A lot of control this round, which is really good. And he manages to get up here, but with 32 seconds left on the clock, I'm not too worried. He goes obviously for the big head kick, probably trying to get a knockdown to solidify that round. And if you got a knockdown, just claw it back on the judges' scorecards, because right now it should be 1-1 going into round 3, and I'm definitely feeling in the more advantageous position. That was a massive, massive round 2. So coming into round 3, it's going to be more of the same thing. I'm going to look to take him down, look to control him. If a submission threat is there and it's possible to get the finish, I will look for it. However, like I said, with these high level players, you've got to really be selective when you're looking to submit. It's always position over submission unless you know the submission's on. And here you see that I go for a beautiful turning takedown, and you'll notice that in round 1 the takedown was denied, that was turning the other way. So in round 3 I decided to turn in this direction, which is a mix up from round 1, and ended up getting him to the ground. And one thing I find is that whenever people are using grapplers and trying to get the fight onto the ground, they'll get a takedown denied, and they'll go that same way the next 2 or 3 times. And if it's been denied once, the all likelihood is that your opponent really knows exactly where you're trying to go. So the next 2-3 times it's going to be a very slim margin that you get it. So I recommend definitely mixing up your takedown attempts and keeping it fresh, keeping it offbeat, and going for variety. Maybe just a normal single leg, maybe then shoot for the power double, maybe go for the fence takedowns, maybe turn the takedown to the right, turn it to the left. Just keep it fresh, and then once you get it onto the ground, it's all about dominating. It's all about position, You keep that position there, you whittle away at the stamina, you whittle away at the head health, and that will open up the opportunities for submission or posturing up and letting off that damage. And again, damage is what wins fights, because there's no good me laying on him for, let's say, 4 minutes and building up 2 significant strikes, and then when we was on the feet he has 10 significant strikes. So depending on the judges, often or not, it is damage that wins fights on this game. So that's very important to know. And you can just see that being very, very patient, always looking to pre-deny the positions that put me at more of a disadvantage. So if I'm inside control and he pushes me to half guard, not a big deal. If he goes into sprawl, I'm at a massive disadvantage compared to half guard, because from there it's quite easy for him to knife, flicking left or right. He can get up, he can sweep me, there's more things he can do. Whereas if I'm in half guard, I know there's only a couple of transitions he can do, and I feel more confident in that position to get back in a dominant position, be in side control. And you can see there, obviously, do get swept, and then we end up getting the sweep ourselves back on top. And again, just being extremely, extremely patient. This is how I deal with knee elbow spammers. And again, this is with someone that doesn't have the best striking in Demian Maia. You can see letting off the ground and pound here, mixing up to the body. And this is just how I deal with them. If you want to knee elbow slam me, you're not going to be able to do that on the ground. So I will get you onto the ground, and I will keep you there. I'm not going to let you up, and that's something that Demian Maia has the ability to do. You can see that my opponent's struggled massively since round 2 onwards with the grappling, especially with the mixing of the takedowns and making the necessary reads and adjustments. And if this was a 5-round fight, I would drown him, and I'm 100% confident that I would get the submission finish. However, fight is over there, it goes to the decision, and as you'd expect, I do win. I think I won the second and third. I remember winning the fight as it plays out here, and it's super sped. But while this is going on, I just want to say a huge thank you for all the support on the videos and the channel itself. I am now on over 550 subscribers, and I'm loving that our little community is growing, and I love to see the interactions in the comments below. So please, if you do have any content suggestions, any constructive criticism, please let me know in the comments below. I do always read them, and I do always try plan out videos with those in mind for the future. And yeah, again, just want to say an absolute huge thank you for all the support. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. If you like the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more UFC 4 content. I do try to post weekly. So getting into this fight here, we're coming up against the debatably greatest welterweight of all time, George St. Pierre. And one thing about GSP is, of course, he's balanced everywhere. Phenomenal wrestling, great on the ground, great on the feet being his weakest attribute. But when you're using Demian Maia, it doesn't matter if you're GSP, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm going to take you down, I'm going to control you, and I'm going to look to get that submission. So you can see, get the early takedown, and this is big because I find that if I can get the takedown in round one, which is normally the round that I have off to look for tendencies and patterns, this whole round one, I can download everything that I need. So I can familiarize myself with little patterns, what fakes they like to use, what transitions they like to go for. Do they, if a transition gets denied, do they go for the complete opposite transition, or do they go back to it? And it's these small little habits that, if you can pick up on, will really change how successful you are when it comes to grappling on online ranked games. Because a lot of the elite level fighters, they are elite, especially their stand up, and when it comes to the ground, they have elite knowledge, but they have small mannerisms and small muscle memory type habits that can cause them to have big flaws when you come up against them. And that's one thing that I have noticed through the 1 or 2 years that we've now been playing this game, is that you can be against an elite fighter, absolutely great, but because they're so, it's instinctual, because you play the game so much. It's like I said, it's like muscle memory. So you'll be going for the same things over and over subconsciously in the same pattern, and then you can really look to exploit that. And you can see right now the GSP's having no luck in escaping, just like a bear, dragging him back down, getting him to side control, getting him to the elbows. And again, he does the right thing here, trying to posture up and move me to the fence. Go for the anaconda here, and I think from early on I realised, I'm definitely not going to get that, so I pull out of it. But it was a good attempt nonetheless. I know that GSP stamina is definitely getting drained, so just working some body shots, get the deny here, and I believe I sweep round, and I think I'd get the deny here, and then I'll go for the bulldog choke. And yeah, 2 good denies there. A lot of people don't deny that transition, which was nice to see that I picked up on that. And he has no stamina here. I've got quite a good gauge of stamina, and I go for the choke. There wasn't much time left on the clock, admittedly. Normally I do tend to stick away from going for a submission if I know I don't have enough time on the clock. But you can see here, this was going to be really tight, and perhaps if I locked in this submission earlier, I definitely could have seen myself submitting GSP in the first, which would have been a nice little victory there. But nonetheless, phenomenal round. That could easily be a 10-8 round. Absolute domination. Phenomenal job of denying the transitions, and just good work of implementing the overall game plan. This is exactly what you're going to look to do with Demian Maia. This is exactly it. You're going to look to stay calm under pressure and shoot those takedowns when you can. Try and mix them up, but if one gets denied, don't let that deter you from shooting many. I don't know how many of you watched his title fight against Woodley, but I think, if I'm correct, I may be horribly wrong, but he shot something like 24 takedowns and got 0. And bear in mind, this was against a prime Woodley. But yeah, and he just kept shooting and shooting. That's exactly what you've got to do on this game. You can see here, got him to the fence, jumped on his back, and engaged in the human backpack. And he does a good job of reversing the position here. But again, not worried. Anywhere on the ground, you're comfortable with Demian Maia. You don't have to worry at all. Hit the half guard reversal and back in business. And from here, same process as round one. Gonna whittle away deny the transitions. You can see always looking to build GA. That's another thing that will really elevate your game. Just constantly look to build GA, and only transition once your GA is in a very good position, because doing those quote unquote naked transitions, which is when you don't have GA, just leaves a massive denial window. And when you're coming up against these higher division players, they're going to take note of that, and it's going to be easier to get those deniers. And if you keep doing those naked transitions, you're just going to waste your own stamina and potentially get a really good position reverse. So definitely got to be careful in that regard. So get GSP into the crucifix, and again, just being patient here. Definitely not looking to overcommit. He done a good job of getting out of the position, although I'm sure that I did deny that, but does tend to happen. It was a good job from him. Get the deny here, and again, being very patient. I know that his block's real low right now. I know that he's panicking, but just gonna do my best to stay calm. Try a transition to the back, and then we end up going straight into back sitting here. Again, he was away, and he's just squirming, he's just moving, but all these things are not helping him really. He is getting out of the positions, but he's not getting out of the ground. And again, just overall sheer dominance, just at will moving GSP into the positions that I want him to be moved into. Deny the transitions well, get another good deny here. And I looked at how much time I had left on the clock, and I normally like to go for submissions when I have around 50 seconds left to work with. And as you can see, I'm still in that leeway here, get the deny, and I think it's here where I lock in the Kimura. Yeah, so I even left it a second because I was debating it to see if he was going to transition again. Lock in the submission. As soon as I get that chain into the armbar, especially with anyone really, it's tough, but with Demian Maia with his submission offense, it's pretty much game. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy that video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more UFC 4 content. Comment down below any content suggestions, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you.